What is up, guys? Jake from NJ Sports here, and with the Euros coming around the corner, I thought I would do this video and give my prediction on who is going to qualify out of the group stages for this year's Euros in 2024 in Germany. There's a lot of predictions in terms of who's going to win it, and a lot of eyes are on this tournament, the second best international tournament in the world of football behind the World Cup, and this is going to be, I think, one of the most promising Euro tournaments we will ever see. There's a lot of speculation, will Italy retain the Euros? Will Southgate finally lead England to win some international glory? Germany, can they win it in their own nation? Portugal, can Ronaldo make it 2 Euros after their incredible form? Spain, can they make history and win the most Euro championships? There's a lot of thoughts, there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of predictions that are going over this tournament, and I feel we're going to be in store for a cracking showdown. But we are now going to be making predictions on the group stage, and I'm going to give you my personal opinion on where I think teams are going to be placed at the end of the group stages. First group that we're going to be looking at is Group A. We have got Germany in there, who are going to be the hosts of this year's Euros. Scotland, who had a very good qualifying campaign, beating the likes of Spain in their group and finishing second, having an unbelievable run. Players like McTominay producing quality throughout. Hungary, who finished unbeaten in their group, Group G of the qualifying rounds of the Euros, playing some unbelievable football, particularly in the defence. And Switzerland, who have had some very good moments in the last few tournaments in the Euros, like that goal from Shaqiri and then knocking out France in the last tournament. So this is going to be a very entertaining group, I feel. However, in terms of top spot, it's just not a question. Germany are definitely going to finish top in this group. Now, coming into this, we were talking about this a year ago, 2 years ago, right after the World Cup. I don't think expectations were going to be that high in terms of making Germany favourites to win the tournament. However, in the last few months, a lot of developments have come about. Kroos returning to the German national side, and has already just stamped his mark in this team. Not to mention that this will be his final ever tournament in professional football. And I think that will have a massive effect on this Germany side. Reason being, a legend like Kroos, quality. One of the best midfielders, possibly the best midfielder Germany's ever produced, and could possibly be in the GOAT conversation of terms of Germany's best ever players. A legend like that, I think, would spur a lot of the players, if not all the players, on to do well, give 110% for him. Sort of similar situation that happened in the 2022 World Cup when Messi led Argentina to win the World Cup. Every player, every coach was just working harder, and everyone after that tournament would say, we did it for Messi. We wanted to do it for him. He was such a legend. He made us be better. I think we're going to see a similar situation within this Germany camp. We're going to see every player, even though there are world-class players in this squad all across the board in attack, midfield and defence, they are going to go the extra mile, and I think to give Toni Kroos the perfect send-off, which is why I feel that you have to put Germany in there as favourites to win the whole thing. I think top 3 favourites, without question. So that is why I have got Germany finishing top. In terms of finishing second to get automatic qualification, there were a lot of different scenarios that I was thinking of in my head. Because you have Hungary, who had a quality qualifying run and are coming into this in good form. Scotland, who had a great campaign, beating the likes of Spain, and they got players that can really make a difference when they need it most. But then you've got Switzerland in there as well, who've had unbelievable moments in the Euros. Like I mentioned last year, knocking out France. They took Spain the distance and going all the way to penalties and could have won that. And they do have some quality players in there. However, in terms of finishing second, I will put Switzerland. I think Switzerland will qualify automatically. You know, you just look at some of the players that they possess, Switzerland. It's just unbelievable. They have got a headache on their hands in terms of picking the starting goalkeeper, the likes of Jan Sommer and Kobold, who had an unbelievable campaign with Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League last year. You got that headache, which is a good headache to have. I think all across the board, you look at their squad, they are going to have a good enough squad to qualify automatically. Then third place, well, we have to take into account some 4 out of the 6 third place teams do get to qualify for the knockout stages of the Euros, all depending on what their point tally is, goal difference, etc. So this third team, with a possibility that could qualify, I will be putting Hungary in there. Purely because the football that they played through their qualifying run, finishing unbeaten in their group. Obviously, you've got to take into consideration who they have. You got the likes of Lithuania in there. You got Montenegro and Bulgaria, but then you had Serbia in there, who are a decent side. Got some quality players in their squad that can really do some damage if you give them any bit of space. And defensively solid. They are defensively solid. But the bigger issue is, in terms of creativity going forward, I know they've got Szoboszlai in there, but in terms of finishing the chances, getting over the line, they will struggle at certain points. But I don't think they're going to finish bottom, which is why I'm putting Scotland in at the bottom, because in terms of their goalkeeping options and options going forward, like when you've got someone like Che Adams that could possibly be leading the line, you know you're in trouble. And they don't have a solid goalkeeper, and I feel in any tournament, if you want to do well, you need a goalkeeper that can save you a couple of times in a game, make match-winning saves, and I don't see any goalkeeper that Scotland possess that will do the job and really pull it out of the bag when it matters most. So, with that reasoning, I have determined that I think Germany are going to finish top, with Switzerland second and Hungary third, and Scotland are finishing dead last. Now we're going to be going into Group B. Many people have labelled this as the Group of Death, and it is close to being that, if not the Group of Death. We have Spain, we have Croatia, we have Italy, and we have Albania. Every single game for every team in this one is going to be competitive. It's going to be rough. You've got Spain, who are tactically the most switched on team, play some real quick tempo attacking football, like to keep the ball. Italy, defensively solid, got some quality players going forward and a very well balanced side. Croatia, lot of experience in that team, still got some of that real competitive edge that they've managed to have for the last 4-6 seasons in the international stage. And then Albania, a real tough, physical, dirty team that is willing to just do anything to get the job done. Every single game is going to be competitive. And obviously I'm going to be rooting for Italia in that one. And picking a top 2 in this one is going to be very difficult. But I do feel this is going to be possibly a case where 3 teams are going to be on the same amount of points. I feel Albania, without question, I do feel Albania is going to finish last. And I think they're going to lose every single game. But I'm not saying that in the case that every team, Spain, Croatia and Italy, are going to walk them off the park. I'm not saying that one bit. For each game, Albania is going to make it a real nightmare for every single one of them teams that I've just mentioned. They are going to make it really rough for every single game. But I think at the end of it, the quality that Croatia, Italy and Spain possess, they are going to get over the line in them games. And I feel that Albania just don't have the capability of getting anything in any of them games. I think the closest one that they probably could do is Croatia, possibly Italy. But I have Albania last. I feel, I'm making a prediction that Spain, Croatia and Italy are going to be on 5 points apiece. With every single one of them teams is going to beat Albania, but I feel they're going to draw the rest of them games. And it's just going to be a question on who's got the better goal difference that's going to qualify. And I think Spain probably have the more firepower, so that's why I'm going to have Spain finishing first. And I do feel Italy will finish second, because I feel we'll just about edge it perhaps in terms of the amount of goals scored in the Albania game. Croatia, because they don't mind a physical match-up. And then they don't mind it being a technical match-up neither, because they've got both the physicality and the technical ability on offer within their squad. When you've got players in the likes of Luka Modric in there, who is just very well experienced, quality player. And then you've got some real brutes in defence and midfield as well. I think it's going to be so close. It's going to be so close in these games. It's just going to be right to the wire, just going the distance. And I feel this will definitely be a group where third place will qualify, especially if that happens. If third place finishes on 5 points, then they're going to qualify. So that is what I have. I have Spain, Italy, Croatia and Albania. Then we're moving on to Group C. This one is going to be a very straightforward one, in my opinion. When you have England, Serbia, Denmark and Slovenia, England are going to top that. On paper, England do probably have the best squad coming into this tournament. Just got quality players throughout in every position, pretty much. Numerous amount of goalkeepers they can choose from, but it's going to be Pickford. Quality in defence. Unbelievable talent in the midfield. And then, not to mention, their attacking options as well. It's just going to be a question whether or not Southgate is going to get it technically right. That has been the biggest question for England going into the last 2 tournaments especially. Coming close, last Euros, losing in the finals against Italy on penalties. And this is just a straightforward one. If England don't top this group, then I think everyone's going to downgrade them as low favourites. Because this is a group that every big team would want to have. They would want to just rotate the team a little bit, and I think they can afford to do that in every single one of these games, where they can rest players, rotate, and especially with the depth that they have, they are going to be able to rest a lot of players. England are top in this group without question. Going to win every game. I reckon they could drop points in one game, but they are not going to lose. I can't see them losing any of these games. England top without question. Now, second place, I feel Serbia, with the slight edge that they have going forward ahead of Slovenia and Denmark. They got the likes of Dusan Vlahovic up top, who is a phenomenal striker. I think one of the 10 best strikers on the planet right now. Has ability to score in the air, ability to score on the volley, set pieces, you name it, he can score from whatever position. And all across the board, you know, they're a real physical side. And that's a team that a lot of teams don't want to come up against. A real physical side that is just going to put more wear and tear on their body. And they do have good technical ability, especially going forward. They do have a very decent side, and I think that they will come second in this group and get automatic qualification. And then in terms of third place, that could potentially go on to qualify to the next round. I do see Denmark doing it. Having a fantastic tournament last time out in the 2021 Euros. And then obviously with the whole thing surrounding Eriksen possibly returning to the big stage. I think he has been selected. And, you know, I think that will be a bit more added motivation for the Denmark team to do well. And I think that they possibly will get that third place spot, because in terms of Slovenia, I can't see them winning any of these games. I could see them potentially... No, I can't see Slovenia getting anything. I could see them losing every game. I don't see a lot of players that they have where they could really do a lot of damage. So I have it down as England, Serbia, Denmark and Slovenia. And then here's the group of death. Without question, I know a lot of people probably have Group B as the group of death, but this, Group D, is the group of death. Poland, Netherlands, Austria and France. 3 games where you know that every team is going to be up for it. You've got Poland, who have got quality players and managed to just sneak past Wales in the qualifying rounds to get here into Germany 2024. Netherlands, unbelievable defence. On paper, I think they have the best defence coming into this tournament. You've got the likes of De Ligt, Van Dijk, De Vrij, Frimpong, Dumfries, Ake. Best defence without question coming into this tournament. And then you have France. For me, the favourites to win the whole thing. You can't doubt their quality. When you've got the likes of Kylian Mbappe on the pitch, Griezmann, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Saliba. It's just a ridiculous squad. Unbelievable squad. And then you got Austria, got some quality in their teams, and then they took Italy all the way to extra time in the last tournament, who ended up winning the whole thing. Players with the likes of Alaba, and then you got a striker up there in Arnautovic, who is just a ruthless, vicious geezer, who is just going to make it a hell up top, and is going to challenge the defenders every time. I feel that France, without it's going to be tough for France. I'm not saying this with a certainty that they're going to win every game, even though I have them down as the favourites. I can see them dropping points against the Netherlands. And each game against Austria and Poland, they will have some barriers to overcome. But I do see them winning them 2 games. Netherlands, I see that as a close encounter. Almost 50-50, but I will give France the edge in that. But I could see Netherlands either nicking a win or getting a point in that. So I'm not saying with 100% certainty that France are going to finish undefeated in this group and not lose any of these games, because the Netherlands game is without question a game that they can lose, and they should have to be switched on for that. But I have France finishing first in that one, with the Netherlands finishing second. In terms of who's going to finish third, that is quite a tight one. That is quite a tight one, because Poland and Austria, it's a very even matched between them two in terms of the quality that they possess. Physically quite close as well. But I would have to give the edge to Poland. I would have to give the edge to Poland. I don't think Austria will get much. I don't think they're going to get much. And neither will Poland, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think third place in this one is going to qualify, just because of the fact that I could probably see Poland finishing on a point. I could see Austria finishing on the point. When them two play, I think that that could be the only point that they could get, or if one of them loses. So it's either going to be a case where third and fourth finish on 1 point, or third finishes on 3 points and the fourth finishes on nothing. And I think that will be Poland. I think with the likes of Lewandowski up there, really experienced striker, world-class striker, when he turns up, he will probably get them a result over the edge. And maybe, just maybe, could do enough for them to get qualification to the next round, but this could be a case where I don't think third place is going to qualify. But that is how I have it in the group of death. Group E. This is a group where I think it's going to be evenly matched. Even though you've got Belgium in there, who have got some phenomenal world-class players individually. The likes of Kevin De Bruyne, you got Trossard, you have Doku, and then you got Lukaku up there, who is the all-time goal scorer for Belgium. Regardless of what you think of him at club level, does turn up on the odd occasion when Belgium do need him. And then you have Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. Ukraine making it over the line through the qualifiers, didn't get automatic qualification in the groups for the Euros qualifiers and ended up winning their playoff, doing very well to get here. Romania, like Hungary, finishing unbeaten. One of the best defences I have seen going into the tournament. Without question. Defensively, absolutely solid. I think only conceding 3-4 goals in the entire qualifying round. And I think that they could raise a few eyebrows here in this group. I think Belgium will definitely finish first though. They've got too much quality not to. However, we do have to take into account that, you know, they're no longer got that golden generation. They ain't got players playing on their peak like Hazard. Lukaku's nowhere near his best. De Bruyne hardly turns up for Belgium when they need him. They don't have that real solid defensive spine that they had back in the day when they had the likes of Company, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Vermaelen. They don't have that anymore. But with a big keeper in Thibaut Courtois, I think he will give them a bit of an edge. He will save them definitely in a few games. He's a sort of goalkeeper, the best goalkeeper on the planet on his day, that will save you quite a few times. And this is a group where I feel like they can be not completely relaxed, but they can be a bit more comfortable. And they didn't qualify to the knockout stages in the last World Cup, so a lot of people, expectations are not entirely high for Belgium to put them in as one of the favourites. But in terms of this group, Belgium will qualify and finish top. Second is quite tough, I have to be honest. I can see Ukraine finishing second. I can see Slovakia finishing second. I can see Romania finishing second. It's going to be very close. However, I'm going with the shock here. I'm saying Romania are going to finish second and get automatic qualification to the knockout stages. Defensively, like I mentioned, absolute solid throughout the qualifying stages for the Euros. Got some good players going forward in Dennis Mann and Milaya, both playing for Parma and have got a solid partnership. And then the Gracian, who plays for Spurs, Romanian, solid defender. So I think that they have good individuals going forward and they have a solid player in the back that can be a solid part of the spine and make this team click. Question on their defence, on their midfield though, not the best. But I do think that they will accommodate that with the solid defender that they have in the back and then two players going forward. They are going to get a good performance in this group. Romania are going to finish second in Group E. And then in terms of finishing third, I have to give it to Ukraine. Slovakia, they have got some good players. They can hurt you if you don't give them the respect, but I can't see them beating Belgium. I can't see them getting anything against Belgium. I think it'll be a case Ukraine beat them. They could maybe get something against Romania, maybe, because I think that that's a sort of game that Slovakia would rather play, physical versus physical, which Romania do have. But I can't see them getting any hopes of qualifying to the next round. So I have got Belgium first, Romania second, Ukraine third, and Slovakia fourth. And then we move on to the final group, Group F. This is going to be an interesting one. We have Turkey in there. A lot of times people bring them in as the dark horses of the tournament. That was the case last tournament, but they were just so poor, just did not perform nearly as good as everyone expected them to. You have Georgia, that is going to be guided by Kvaratskhelia, quality winger, plays for Napoli, and then we have Portugal, who are one of my favourites going into this tournament, winning every single game, scoring an absurd amount of goals, only conceding 2, although not the toughest for qualifying groups, I would have to say. And then we have Czech Republic as well. This is another one where top spot is going to be straightforward. I think it's going to be Portugal without question. I think they're going to win every single game with ease. This is going to be Ronaldo's last tournament, so like the Cruz situation where you know, it's going to be his last tournament. This is going to be Ronaldo's last Euros. Possibly his last international tournament. We don't know. He could maybe make his final performance at the World Cup in 2 years' time, but by that time he'd be, what, 41, 42. So this could be potentially Ronaldo's last ever international tournament. So maybe that would give Portugal players added motivation to perform and put in that extra gear and really step it up and do it for him, which I think could be the case, and we will probably be seeing Portugal in the semi-finals if draws are kind to them. So Portugal finishing top, and I think second place for me is going to be between Turkey and Georgia. Sorry, Czech Republic, I have them finishing last. Just nothing in their team that will suggest that they can get anything from the Portugal game. I think Georgia, with having the likes of Kvaratskhelia, it's going to give them that little bit more of an edge of having that quality player that would just produce a bit of magic and get them over the line. And then Turkey, all round, you know, they are a solid team when they perform. And they put in a good shift against Italy last night. So Turkey, I do think, are going to be playing well. Whether they're going to qualify, I'm not sure, because I'm going to be putting Georgia at second. I think having a player like Kvaratskhelia, a real world-class player on his day, and just driving the team forward, being the talisman for the team, is going to really spur the team on and getting results. Not against Portugal. I think Portugal will win every single game, but definitely get a win against Czech Republic, and they could potentially get a win against Turkey. But I have Turkey finishing third. I think they could do enough to get qualification. I do feel that they could, because they could get a point against Georgia and then beat Czech Republic, and then it could be a case where Georgia and Turkey finish on 4 points apiece. And I think 4 points is probably the minimum that you would need to qualify to the next round, but there's a couple of groups where I could see a team finishing on 1 or 3 points. So I think Turkey will qualify, but it will have to be through third place. And that is my prediction for Group F, and that is my prediction for all 6 groups for the Euros of 2024. Like I said, my prediction, others may feel differently. You let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and please like this video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe to A&J Sports if you enjoy this content, so you can be alerted when we ever upload more content of this nature. Much love, ciao ciao.